funny when you add a little bit of money to a sport and you give some girls attention, what they can do with it. I think everyone should take a page out of our book and really put some more time and effort into women's everything.
Welcome to Breaking the Glass Hockey Podcast. We're talking women's hockey from the PWHL to the NCAA. We'll be talking with players, builders, coaches, and fans who have made this great game what it is today. It's time to educate, empower, and elevate. Let's go!
We are back. Welcome back to Breaking the Glass, episode number 13. We're calling this one We're Still Here.
We're still here.
Yeah.
It's a good thing, right?
Yes, it is. It is a good thing. At least myself, Brownie, and Linda are here. No Kelly. She's touring colleges, right? Is that what she was doing?
Yes.
Yeah.
She's on
Not
the
for
college.
her, for her daughter.
Yep.
We survived. Let's see. We survived PWHL Draft. We survived.
What was episode 12 date? Do you remember?
I don't know. It feels like it was like a month ago. We survived camping trips, international travel, and we're still here. We're broken but not. Wait, bowed but not broken. What's that? I don't remember. Whatever.
It was our last one was June 10th.
Holy Shalasky, that's a long time.
Month. But you know,
it's a tough month, man.
We're busy. We're busy people.
It's a tough month. All right, well, so busy people. Let's talk. What have you been doing?
Oh, well, you mentioned camping. I went camping on a big annual camping trip with it's 10 to 12 families, lots of names you'd want to be hanging out with in hockey.
Yeah.
I had a lot of really good fireside chats about the podcast too, which was great. Cool. So maybe spoiler alert to who we might get in the future. That was awesome. Got great feedback and good conversations and ideas.
Good.
So that was fun. Our car broke down on the way back from camping, driving 5 hours back.
Yeah.
Yep, we had to leave our car in Worcester at a dealership near a friend's and rent a car on Monday the next day after our car broke down. We had to get towed and drive back to New York. So
usually
we got our car back. What?
If you're not from the Massachusetts area, usually people go to Worcester to abandon cars, not to get them fixed.
Yeah, we had some interesting video of our kids riding their bikes around the Pep Boys lot in Springfield.
Oh, yeah.
So I cracked a beer in the parking lot. I was like, what are we going to do?
Just like everybody else in Springfield does in the parking lot.
Right here, let's just have a beer.
Yeah.
It was actually a safety issue and it was a brake issue. So we took it in stride and we're grateful that we were okay because it actually could have been pretty dangerous. But we didn't get our car back till 9 days later. But
jeez.
And we had to go back to Boston to get it. So that was boring but eventful.
Good Lord.
Had my birthday.
That's right. Yeah.
The day after the draft.
23.
Yep. Again.
Nice. Congrats. Congrats on being finally legal to drink.
Yep.
You
were busy.
Cool.
You were busy during my birthday time and
Yes. Here now, this will be my shameless. Here we go. Here it is.
Don't get all get all blushing about it.
There it is. Your world champion Boston Sharks. We went up to Toronto. We ran the table. What was it? 68 teams, I think, were up there. We didn't go through all 68. Just, leveled out based on skill or lack thereof. And there was our captain, I guess, has been playing in this league for 30-something years.
Yeah.
I think he's 70. Like I said, it's old man beer league.
I saw that in the picture you sent.
He was crying. Like the guy gave him the trophy was emotional. The league guy, he's been coming up here for so long.
What's the name of the league?
I don't necessarily think I guess that we haven't asked him to sponsor this podcast, so it's Hockey North America. And the way it works is if you win your local, you get the chance to go up to Toronto. So in my mind, it's the World Championship. And there were teams trying to think. We played teams from New York, Chicago, Detroit, Washington D.C., maybe another one from New York. I don't remember. I know there was a Calgary team because they were all women, and I was going to talk to them and say, hey, because they're playing against teams that maybe have like one or two women on them. They were a full squad.
Okay.
Sickest unis up there, but
so it's mixed.
Yeah, it's mixed.
Cool.
They got eliminated, and they were out of there so fast. I didn't even get a chance to like reach out.
They had to get to the bar.
Yeah, maybe. Well, the beauty of the rinks in Mississauga, where we were playing, is there's a bar in the middle.
That's your mea culpa, by the way.
What?
You just gave me your mea culpa from last time.
What?
Mississauga.
What did I say?
Mississauga.
Oh, it's Mississauga?
Yeah.
I've been saying it wrong for the last 12 years going up there.
Well, I mean, I only let you go from the last episode to this episode.
No. I know. But I've been saying it wrong all along. But yes, there's a bar in the middle. We spent a lot of time in that bar.
I probably
it was fun. We ran we had one tie, but then we ran the table and we got it done. I'm not, who everybody contributed. It was a lot of fun, but I will shout out one guy specifically. So Sunday, we had two games on Sunday. That's the elimination. And Joe, one of our defensemen who also plays net, he thankfully brought his goalie gear just in case. Our goalie disappeared. No one knew where he was. Even his brothers. I saw his brothers and his nephew, and I was like, do you know where he is? They're like, no. And they were like, we were afraid he had like a heart attack or something.
Yeah.
He just slept through all his alarms. So Joe hasn't played net in a few months. He hopped in Sunday morning in a must-win game, shut the door for a 3-0 win. And you know how they talk about how like everybody, like when the backup plays, sometimes everybody's a little more dialed in, I personally was like dropping to a knee to block shots.
Yeah.
We were like trying to do everything we could, and Joe got it done for us. So he's my MVP of the whole thing. And this was
sometimes
Joe's
sometimes starters in games say to their teammates when like the backup comes in and everybody steps up and plays bigger or faster, and I've heard people say, why do you play like that in front of me?
Yeah. Well, there's also when you have a goalie that you've been playing in front of and he's doing really well, you get that whole like, oh, he's got it.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Yeah, and I think that, I mean, it's not like we didn't have faith in Joe. It's just he hasn't played net in a long time. Right. And it was just like, holy smoke. What's funny about Joe is he's been in this league like, I think 15 or 16 years. He's never been up there for a tournament. His teams have never qualified. First time he goes, he wins the whole thing.
Cool.
The first time I ever went was like 10 or 12 years ago. We made it to the finals and lost. And I haven't been back to the finals till this past tournament.
Gotcha.
But yeah, it was fun. It was a good time.
Awesome.
Yeah. Well, you brought up mea culpas. I do want to we just have the one. Remember we talked about that Instagram account that shows like the good and bad seats at rinks and stuff?
Yeah, vaguely. I mean,
yeah, it's been so long.
My memory.
It's Cameron Guzzo, Guzzo. It's a pretty interesting follow because he also does not only good seats and bad seats. Like he went to Matthews and he sat like directly behind a pole, which was kind of funny. Yeah. But he also is now doing reviews of food in the arenas and rinks, which is kind of neat too. It's a funny little follow. So
there you go.
There you go. So should I can't even figure out. I'm struggling because they redid all the settings since we've done this. I'm trying to figure out. Oh, here's the transition. Is this it? Like that? That's from the old Batman, if you're old enough. So we got some news from the hockey world ahead of the draft. So former Boston Fleet head coach Courtney Kessel, she took her talents to Princeton, where she played, right? Didn't she play there?
No, she played at UNH.
Oh, that's right. Yep. There is a connection, though. I don't remember what the Princeton connection. Oh, it's the Seattle GM. That's what it is. Yeah, that's what I was thinking of. No, the Vancouver GM. Sorry. Yeah. I'm back to 1,000. Yeah.
Yeah. You're all of it. You're rusty.
Yeah, I am rusty. But so this was interesting to me because I don't know what would have happened if she didn't step down. And I would never, those are like those gotcha real journalist questions that I won't ask. Like if I
Mhm.
was, talking to my good friend Danielle Marmer. But I wonder, I'm just curious to that because they lost in the finals the inaugural year when they weren't playing great. Then they didn't even qualify for the playoffs this year, and then they lose Hillary. I mean, yeah, they lose Hillary Knight in the
Yeah.
expansion. I I wonder if she was going to get turfed, and
It's hard
where
to say because I think we talked about this on our last episode, maybe, and I had said um, that I saw an announcement come out, and it was Marmer talking about thanking the fans and everything. And it was a
yeah,
statement, and I thought it was about Kessel, but it wasn't. Um, it doesn't really make a lot of sense to me why that wouldn't happen right away if it was going to happen.
why they
Like if
didn't
he was going to be let go, if they were going to cut ties with her, why that wouldn't happen right away and why that was, So to me, it's kind of like there's this buffer period where that the coach is going to be let go. It usually happens like immediately after the season. Nothing's usual about this league though, in a good
right,
way, right?
right, right.
So I don't know, but good for her for grabbing that
Yeah,
opening and figuring out what she wants to do. I mean, I have no insight or details into you know what the dynamics were, but more importantly, what is Boston doing? Like, who's going to be the next Boston coach?
yeah, and it's weird. It's also a weird, almost like it's like a family run league, but it's competing teams because it's all under one umbrella.
Mm-hmm.
So, and you don't see coaches like it's not a long enough league history to have like retreads. Like, they talk about that in the NHL. Like, oh, why don't you give some guy a shot from the AHL? Why is it retreads all the time? And we're
Yeah.
not, the PWHL isn't at that point. I hope it doesn't get that. I hope they continue to find fresh voices and perspectives, but I don't know
Yeah. I
what
mean,
Boston's plans
I
are.
don't know. I guess we don't know. I mean, I've heard some names in the mix for Boston. I don't know. Are they courting and getting no's? Are they waiting for something to happen with a contract and expiration of a contract?
Yeah.
There's lots of things you can imagine, but I'm just surprised it's not sort of sorted out by now.
Well, and to be fair, the league was shut down until yesterday. They took the hiatus over the 4th. So,
I thought it would be. I know it wasn't that long, but I don't know. I thought something would be stirring at least at the draft.
yeah, maybe they're negotiating. I don't know what the
Yeah.
limits are with the coaches, like the players. I don't know if there's things they have to adhere to.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. But speaking of coaches, PWHL Seattle and Vancouver both announced theirs. Steve O'Rourke for Seattle and Brian Adalski. Is that how you say it?
Yep.
Adalski
Yep.
for Vancouver. Now you know both of them, or you know of
No,
them.
I don't know Steve O'Rourke. I know
Okay.
Brian Adelsky.
O'Rourke is the one that came from the Oshawa Generals. He came out of the
Yeah.
O. Yep.
I mean,
Which
again, I'd love to see. I'd love to see a female out of one of those two
yep.
teams. I'd love to see someone who's historically been in women's hockey be in the coaching, but you don't know what their choices were. You don't
Right.
know. There was always this discussion like about women. There weren't enough women head coaches. But there was also discussion, behind the scenes in the women's empowerment in women's hockey about women not going for head coaching jobs and wanting to stay put or not feeling confident or comfortable. Like a man will go for a job, like they could be an assistant for 2 years of like XYZ club men's program and they would go for a women's head coaching job. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
there was always this thing behind, self-worth, and having enough pool of women's applicants, meaning female applicants. So you don't know, and I don't want to speculate or judge, and I don't know Steve O'Rourke at all. I'm sure he's a great coach. But I was, just thinking, who else was there? Or maybe there wasn't a great candidate. I mean, again, we're not in that business side of things. So.
Right. And Adolski, though, he was a woman's coach, right? St. Cloud. He's the
he was at St. Cloud, but he was at North Dakota when they cut the program.
Oh.
So, and then I think he went overseas for a little while. I think he did Team China, if I'm remembering correctly. He's and then he kind of made his way back over here. And he actually, Michelle Carvinen was at North Dakota when that's why she was their first pick. He knows what he's getting.
Yeah.
So I was like, as soon as they picked her, I was like, there you go.
Well, that makes sense, right? And that's also what we were talking about, like the uncertainty of what Boston's plan is, because they went through the draft without a coach, and they're picking. I mean, Danielle, right? She knows what she's doing. She has advisors. She knows hockey, but
the assistant coaches were still there, I think.
Right,
so, yeah.
right. So it's like I would think that there's still tweaks that a head coach is going to bring to a program, and players that a head coach would prefer. Style of play, temperament, all that kind of thing. But
don't forget, the coaches also have to take the salary. So we don't know what the salary cap is for coaches,
right.
And we don't know if it doesn't work for some coaches. If it's not, if some of the more high profile coaches, it's not like you can go just pick anybody you want. If you've got somebody making a lot more than that, they're not going to come into the PWHL, right? I mean,
right.
I don't know. I mean, I was thinking about that with players too. When we talk about the draft and we're looking through these players and talking about depth, and why did they choose that person when they had that person available? Maybe not first round, but you see the decisions that start to become about depth and cap.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. So, it's easy to build a team until you have to really figure out the money, right?
It's easy for us to be like,
oh, for sure. Yeah.
Pick the next great one. Pick the next,
exactly.
ringer. So
they are still all-star teams, though. It's crazy.
They are.
Oh, and this is just when we were up there, we went to the Hockey Hall of Fame, and so it's a whole different perspective, right? Because I've been to the Hall of Fame like 3, maybe 4 times, and now though, this is the first time I've been to the Hall of Fame since I've had this, as remote as it is, this relationship with women's hockey, right? This little fingernail, hold involved. But it's so cool. Like, I mean, I'm not friends with her, but I've met her. Well, I interviewed her. I saw Aaron Frankel's inaugural helmet, right? And I'm like, oh, that's so cool. And, Shelly Looney, Shelly's nameplate from Team USA. I think I sent you a picture of that.
Yeah, you did. You sent me a few pictures.
And then
you were very excited.
I had a great time because all the guys I was with, there was 5 of us. They were asking me like, "Oh, what is this about?" And I was like, "That's one of my co-hosts." So Kelly's name, she's one of 20 women to play men's pro hockey. I mean, that's really inspiring, right? And then
breaking the glass.
Exactly. And then Alina, so she's the youngest player, men or women, to medal at the Olympics at 15 years old. And so one of the guys has a 15-year-old daughter, and he was like, "Are you fucking kidding me?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm like telling him how great she is as a person, and he's like, "I can't get my daughter to like help me with the garbage." And this girl was in the Olympics. I'm like, "Yeah, Alina's different." But yeah, it was cool. It was cool seeing that stuff. So very neat. And then this was also, I think you can add this right to the impact of the PWHL. USA Hockey saw a record number of women and girls register for hockey in 2024-25, over 98,000, which was a 5% increase from last year. That's great.
It's amazing. Right.
And then last thing, non-PWHL, the IIHF named Marie-Philippe Poulin from Montreal as Poulin. God damn it. You know what I have? Every time I read her name, I think of Dave Poulin, and I do it wrong every time. Every time. I'm just going to say MPP. The Female Player of the Year She beat out Gwyneth Phillips from Ottawa, who was the second in voting, and the other nominees, they didn't give the breakdown, were Layla Edwards from Wisconsin, Erin Frankel from Boston, Carolyn Harvey from Wisconsin, and Hillary Knight, who's now PWHL Seattle. So that was catching up on the hockey world for women's hockey.
Yes, there was a lot going on. That's the other thing. I mean, who has time to podcast when we're trying to follow all this stuff, right?
Dude,
I mean,
so much.
I'm coaching 5-year-old softball over here for summer softball. I'm focused on, making sure these kids don't hit off the tee.
So for those that are listening, Linda's coaching softball for kids, but in the text chain for the longest time, I thought she was playing softball, and she's complaining how no one can hit and they don't want to, all the whatever other stuff you were saying. And now looking back, I'm like, I'm an idiot because it was clear you were talking about kids, but I just thought it was you.
5-year-old girls, yes.
I just thought it was you. Yeah.
Then like the, almost 7-year-old gets up because it's like a 3-year range in this little rookies league.
Oh, wow.
And the almost 7-year-old gets up and like lines it up the middle, like right at my gut, good thing I'm an okay ball player. So I was able to protect myself, but.
How far are you pitching from?
Pretty close, but I do move back when I get, the kids I know that can hit, but the little ones I get in pretty close and I'm like rapid fire. I'm like, let's go. I got like five balls in my glove. I'm like, here you go. Keep throwing it.
Are these the big like marshmallow ones?
No, they're like, I don't know. They're like 14-inch, maybe I think they're called. They're a little softer, but anyway, that's the excitement of my summer so far.
Still going to leave a mark.
Had some visitors from Boston, some family in town, but mainly just coaching summer softball. And I would not play softball. Well, softball would be something I might play, but oh man, I almost pull a hammy when I'm pitching. So
dude, I played softball once for a company I work for. We all played, and the first game, I think like 6 guys tore hamstrings. Yeah. Everybody's trying to break out of the box like they're. I can't even think of a baseball player.
Yeah, my 14-year-old niece helps out coaching, and I'm like, you can go warm them up. I'll be here talking to the other coach. So, anyway.
Hey, speaking of summer league, let me get this in. So, I have a relationship with Beauty Unis from the other podcast, and we started our own summer league this year because we were all tired of playing at random nights and late times. We have 8:40 ice time, which is awesome. We got an extra long sheet, so it's an hour and 20. One of my buddies who's had too many concussions to play anymore, he's reffing, and we've kind of kept it to no stat heroes, right? No one's asking for the score sheet, at the end. And so we reached out to Beauty Unis, and they came up with these sick jerseys for us. These are reversibles, Linda, by the way. Look at that. So that's Casey, who designed them. He wears number 19. You can't see it on your screen. It says Mass Holes. He did his number, and I was like, just make them, kind of obnoxious. And I think he succeeded. There's the.
I like the colors.
Yeah, it came out good. I can't add the other one because it's below this line, so it's the reverse. So, yeah, I don't know how they put on our thing. They put this. Wait if I remove this, the other one will move up. Oh, there we go. There's the other side. I like the dark actually better, I think.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Beauty Unis. If you need shirts, jerseys, bags, call them. They'll walk you through the whole process. Family-run business up in Maine. Just great guys. Oh, and speaking of that, BK Selects, listen, I'm in need of a hockey bag. If anyone's got an extra hockey bag floating around, I somehow poked a hole, like a foot-size hole in my bag up in Canada. So BK Selects, what else we talked to? We talked to Wisconsin, Jackie. You guys got an old bag floating around. Reach out to me. I'm happy to rep it. Well, we haven't had a Husky on, so we can't.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
And plus, I feel like I've asked them for enough over the years.
Speaking of BK Selects, I mean, we're talking about all personal things because it's been a while. My son Brady went to BK High School today. Their field, they have a nice, beautiful turf field, and had a football camp with James Cook, who's running back for the Buffalo Bills.
Oh, that's sick.
We got all kinds of video, and it was really cool. You said BK Slex, and I thought, oh, he was at that camp today. This is what we're doing here in Rochester, New York. We're going to camps.
That's awesome, though.
We're
He
just-
got to meet James Cook.
Yeah,
He's legit.
we got
NFL.
totally sucked in. I mean, Nicole is like a massive Bills fan, right? So
Oh, is she?
she had her shirt on, her hat. She was taking video, getting in there, and then she paid extra to get the photo with him, just Brady with the sign.
Oh, that's
Like,
awesome.
that's a lot of money.
Wait till they win the Super Bowl. Maybe even more next year.
Yeah, I mean, it was really cool. So
Oh,
anyway.
those are lifetime memories, though. You know, you never get another, chance at that. So you might as
More
well.
importantly, he was out of the house.
Was James Cook a nice guy?
I think so.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, he seemed nice. That's what they said. I didn't really ask him any questions.
What's the age of the camp for Brady?
I think it was 6 to 12, maybe.
Well, that's a big range.
Yeah, and they put them in like age groups for the.
Yep.
They did all kinds of drills and stuff. He just plays flag football. He doesn't play like
Yeah,
tackle.
so what?
No
Still
tackle
good.
football. No tackle football in this house. No, thank you.
You're not going to let him play if he wants?
I mean,
Really?
I don't think he's going there. So
Yeah, save on the argument until it comes.
yeah.
All
right.
So PWHL draft. I don't think we should go round by round, but I think we can just kind of talk about it.
Yeah.
I don't think there were any big surprises. My only complaint is that they on the coverage, and this could be my fault because I had the laptop and there was a game on, so I was kind of doing both at once.
Yeah.
I wish they had been more clear about the trades for the picks.
Yeah, that's hard to follow. Good point.
That would be my do better, I guess.
Yeah.
It's hard because it was coming in fast and furious, and it wasn't clear to me on the that everyone knew all the rules because even the announcers at one point they were like, all right, this pick could be from this team, this team, and this team. And I'm like, in the chat, I commented as breaking the glass in the chat, and I was like, no, I'm sorry. Boston's the only one that can lose a player here because the other teams have already lost. It was a late, and people were like, oh, thank you. And I'm like, oh, check out the podcast.
Yeah. I had a hard time following that as well. But who was your favorite? What was your favorite first round pick from the team to player matchup?
Oh, that's a good question. You know what? I think the fact that Minnesota added Kendall Cooper at 6th overall. She's tall. She's got a long stick.
Yeah.
She can skate. And I think when a championship team can add a piece that's probably going to come right in and contribute, I think that's a solid pickup. I got to see her.
Took such a hit on D, so
Yeah, for sure.
I think that was evident. I mean, Boston could have picked a forward or a D.
Right.
I mean, Haley Wynn's a great player. She's from this area too, up here in New York, Rochester. But I have to go with Carvinen going in the first round. Just such
for Vancouver. Yeah.
Yeah, just an older player, just, knowing what you're getting in leadership. But she just the way she carries herself, just a cool cat,
I really, though, you look at the list, right? And there's no so for those that play fantasy sports, right? In fantasy football, when you make a pick, because we do ours in person, it's a long running league. There's always that feeling when you make a pick and everybody's like, oh, that was a good one, or that was a good one, right?
Yeah.
You feel a little better about your pick, but there's always that time when you make a pick and you hear everybody digging through their papers trying to figure out who it is, and you're like, uh-oh, I think I might have made a mistake here. There's none of that. There's none of that because there was a lot of really good players that weren't even drafted.
Yeah, I mean, there's a ton of players, and you don't know if they're going to get a tryout. I think we talked about that before. There's probably some players that got to come in and get a tryout and see where they fit, and they could potentially sign on for a year. I I mean, once you go to the second round, I mean, there's some givens, and then it does start to get a little bit more like you don't know if you could have predicted that.
Yep.
You don't know where these players could have fallen in the draft. But
There were
I
also
don't know.
late surprises, I thought. Where's the one? I had it marked, I thought.
The
Which,
late surprises?
yeah. Oh, there it is. Boston. So in the second pick of the last round, they got Amanda Thiel from Ohio
Yeah.
State, the goalie.
Yeah.
She's a hell of a goalie.
Yeah.
And I know they have Frankel, right? Because Soderberg went back to Sweden. But
Yeah.
I thought that, I mean, you talk about value for where the pick was. That's
Yeah.
great value. And I don't know if it works like the other pro sports, like where you get drafted affects your pay range. I don't know all the ins and outs of that, but
Maybe. I mean, there wasn't any surprises to me from the perspective of how if somebody drops so far, like there was no like
like a
um
attitude problem or
or
something.
there was no like Sanders moment like the NFL draft where
Yeah.
like there was nobody that was like, wow, why haven't they taken them? I thought some of the trends that I look at it, I think you see Ottawa picking a lot of the international players because Carla probably has such a good eye on
Oh,
everything that's
right.
going
I didn't even
on,
think of that.
getting
Yeah.
involved in Czech.
Yep.
So I feel like that's that influence there. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I was psyched for Irving to go to Montreal. I think
Yep.
that's a great pickup, a great
Serves goes north of the border.
yeah. She'll be great for them. They have so much like really razzle dazzle talent. I mean, they've got defensemen that can score goals, obviously natural goal scorers up front, and I think she's just going to bring some like grit.
Oh, and
But goal scoring.
energy. She
Yeah.
kills penalties.
Yeah.
And you know what? I heard someone knocking her size. I'm like, she sticks her nose in. I don't think you don't have to worry about that with her.
Yeah. Hopefully it works out great for her. So,
Yeah, really pulling for her.
yeah, we were talking about who else? The Abby Newhook thing was cool, like
Yep.
with all the BC players. I was like, how did they all get in there? Like to the draft, all the BC players like were there, and I was
She
thinking,
must have had like an ability to bring people or something.
yeah.
I know you should have reached out to her.
I know, I honestly didn't try very hard.
No, I know. We'll be there next year, hopefully.
But I can tell you this: I talked to Laura Schuler, the next day because she called me for my birthday. And she called me and we were talking about the draft. And I was like, you look good last night on the draft. And she was on the floor and hugging her players when they got drafted for Duluth. And she told me that she had a hard time getting a ticket.
Really?
She decided last minute to go. And actually, I don't know if her players didn't have more tickets, but she was having a hard time getting a ticket and getting in. And then she's like, oh, and then I just called Hefford because she played Hockey Canada with Hefford. They're both from Ontario. I go, oh, you just called Hefford. No big deal.
Where's
that? Just do that to start with.
Name
But
drop.
she was on. Yeah, it was really funny when we were talking about it. But she was on the floor. I was like, oh, I thought you were on the floor. I just figured she was sitting with some of her players' families once she was in there. But Hefford got her like the all access pass or whatever.
Yeah.
But they weren't. That's it. Like that's a college coach. She's got players in the draft, and she couldn't get it on her own accord.
Well, I wonder if she had done it earlier. If she had decided, it might have been the proximity to the draft when she tried. Maybe that was the issue.
That's pretty much how it rolls with her. But she always makes it work. She always makes it work out. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I mean, 3 Duluth players went in the third round.
Yep.
That was
a little bit of a run there. Yep.
I think you had the totals by league, right? Already.
I got them by school, but you can. So Ohio State had the most with 6.
Yeah.
Minnesota Duluth with 5.
Yeah.
Quinnipiac had 4 players drafted, which was, I thought, a really good showing for them. St. Cloud, Clarkson, and the University of Minnesota all had 3. Colgate, Cornell, St. Lawrence, BU, Penn State, Wisconsin, and University of Connecticut had 2. Providence, Yale, Mercyhurst, Northeastern, and Boston College all had 1. And then 2 from the Swiss League, 2 from the Russian League, and then the very last pick of the draft, I'm going to get her name wrong, Shanrit Basie for Vancouver, was University of University of BC. And from what I understand, she like lit up that league. And what a smart draft
So I
pick.
think they had a couple players because a couple players, when I brought her up on my conversations, a couple had said that they actually had maybe a defenseman who was really good on UBC too. So I wouldn't even doubt if, again, maybe a tryout or whatever. But that was awesome to see. That was like a feel good moment for, bringing in the local.
And I think she's from that area, so it's a no-brainer to, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that was a cool move at the end, and obviously going to help their team and their program. What I thought was really interesting, obviously, WCHA was consistent throughout with picks each round.
Yep.
But ECAC had 5 first-rounders.
Yep. That's awesome. And not a bad week for I'm gonna butcher it. Samskevich, Madison's Maddie Samskevich.
Yeah, Samoskevich.
Say it again.
Say Samo.
Right.
Samoskevich, Maddie.
So not a bad week for that family. She got drafted in the 5th round, and her twin brother won the Stanley Cup with the Florida Panthers. Yeah. Not a bad week.
Rough hockey talent in that family, huh?
Well, and the older sister, isn't she the
She's Kumi's assistant.
Right.
At Delaware.
That's right. Okay. Yeah, that's right. That's right. She just went, I knew it was all, it's all, see, the gears they're rusty, but they're going.
You're getting there. Awesome display on the draft. I loved the setup. Got to talk aesthetics and just like vibe. They really did a great job with the vibe this year. I thought it looked really professional. The tables where the families were and all the top prospects and all of that, and just all of the signage and just how they did everything. I even thought like the sideline reporting was better. When they did the interviews. So, they
I think you're going to see it improve every year.
They continue to elevate. Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, no, it's good. I mean, I'm not a draft guy. I never have been in terms of like projecting and stuff. I think it's too early to tell, and all these teams are all-star teams anyways. So I think I will say, based on the expansion draft, I think that Seattle and Vancouver are going to compete. I don't think there's going to be a stretch. Doubt. Yeah, it's not going to be a problem. Like, I think everybody's learned from like when the NHL expanded, years and years ago. I'm talking, when they went from 16 to whatever it was, and the teams were just horrible. I don't think this is the way it's going to go. I think it's going to be tough decisions all the way through. And I think that makes good for entertaining hockey. I think every night, anytime you go to any game, you're going to see some of the best players in the world, no matter what. And I think that's the way to grow the league,
I know. It's going to be good.
Yeah, I'm very excited for it.
I got to get my Vancouver and Seattle gear. I think I should just get something from every team because I'm so like neutrally placed geographically. Like I'm from Boston. I've got Toronto over here. I got connections all over the league with people I know. Just going to get something from every team.
Yeah, that's fair. I will say, and if anyone from the PWHL like gear company is listening, make it so you can order everyone's jersey. I understand the custom jersey thing, but I have a daughter whose birthday's next week who would kill for a Katie Knoll Minnesota Frost jersey. But I can't get one unless I commission it somehow because they only give you like 3 choices. So I'm just going to get her some Frost stuff, and I'll be like, that's Katie. Maybe I'll take it and get like a 6 put on the back of it for her, or something like that.
Right.
But it would be nice if you could custom jerseys. I know that I'm sure that's in the works, but it's not going to help me for next Wednesday.
No, but
next
can you
year.
just ask Katie how
I don't
not to get her jersey, but Like, do they have anything like that on the side?
I don't know. She FaceTimes Riley sometimes on her birthday, so I don't want to ask her for anything more than that.
Yeah.
Riley invites her to her birthday party every year, which is hilarious.
That is hilarious. They could do one of those like 1 year where she comes through the door and it's recorded live. You know how like basketball players like go visit somebody for their birthday and it's like their hero.
What's her name? Lexia Gia did that up in Ottawa.
Yeah, they did that. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. All right, Katie, if you're listening, I'll see you next Wednesday.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna gear up in the next few weeks as we get into like I don't know. Do you have the training? Do we have training camp start dates yet or no?
No, well, the league was all shut down. I want to say it's not for a bit. I think they're doing on ice workouts like individually and maybe in groups, but I don't think there's a formal thing. I don't know all the ins and outs of the CBA and when they can and when they can't start.
It's so crazy that it's already July 9th and we're talking about this because I was just having a conversation this week about going to Boston to talk about the Beanpot with the Garden. Yep. And I mean, this was our hope is that we'd start talking about it in July and August. So great, good. Awesome. But also like, you're like, oh no, it just started. The summer just started. Like, I don't want it to be over yet, but.
I got people like, hey, when are you going to get to my house? I'm like, oh my God, you know how much rain there's been? It's supposed to rain for like the next 7 days. Just kills my schedule. And I've already been hit up like, hey, are you guys still sponsoring a hole at the golf tournament? I've already been hit up by those. So we'll talk when we're done recording.
That's going to come next too. The golf tournament, right?
Very fast. And the kid who works for me said he will be the camera guy. So
great.
Good. Do you have anything for plus minus or do better or any of those?
My minus is that I passed up tickets to the Connecticut Sun Indiana Fever game on Tuesday at the Garden.
The New York
minus WNBA
Square Garden.
Caitlin Clark.
Oh, I know who she is.
Yeah, that's my minus. I had tickets right here. And I was trying to get to Boston, and I could have done it, but it was a lot on my plate. It was making me stressed out, and I don't know. I might have a little Northeastern reunion this weekend at my friend's lake house.
Nice,
New Hampshire, but going to Boston, getting back, taking time off of work, all of those things. Nobody needs to hear about that, but that's my minus is that
it's tough when work gets in the way of life.
Was that a mistake? Should I have gone?
You could probably watch on TV.
It's not the same, Brownie.
I know.
Really need to get with the time.
Well, I understand. I'm not a big fan of crowds personally. And I'm not a basketball guy.
I was on the bucket list going to see Caitlin Clark. She is injured, so I mean, I hate to be that person that is like petty, but if she's injured on Tuesday, I'll be like, oh, I didn't miss anything.
So let me ask you this: you're the biggest basketball fan I know, actually. I think. She got voted like 9th best guard or something in some vote I heard them talking about on a podcast. Is that just because they're all jealous of her, other players?
There's a lot of good players. There's a lot of good players.
So she's not the best at her position, is what you're saying?
I mean, what's best mean? She's the most visible, and she is
she the most complete player? Is she is she like Kobe Bryant of this league? Is she the most complete player? Is she just a scorer? Can she play defense?
No, she does a little bit of everything for sure. I mean, I think that that shows you how many good players there really are. I mean, the WNBA is in a situation where they almost need more teams, and I don't know how fast they can expand. They did expand, and they announced 2 more teams for 20. They're all out to like 2028 now for 2 more.
When teams are coming in, you mean?
Yeah, when teams are coming in, and I mean they're drafting players, and then they're cutting players they drafted. Which is weird, which is kind of weird to me, but I guess that shows.
Well, it's a small roster, right? What do they carry? Like 12 players or something?
Yeah. So anyway, enough basketball talk. That's my minus.
So I don't have a minus. Well, maybe I do. But so when you go into the Hall of Fame, when you walk up to the trophy room where the Stanley Cup is, and all the pictures of the players that are inducted, there's a team photo of the reigning Stanley Cup champion on your right.
Yeah.
There's a wall on the left, which it would be cool to see the PWHL reigning champ right there. So, I mean, that's ticky tacky. But I have 2 pluses. Lisa Janssen was named Player of the Year by the Doghouse. We like to keep the Doghouse happy, so I wanted to mention that. And then Northeastern tied a program record with 21 Hockey East All Academic Team honorees. So that's pretty good.
Yeah,
Out of
going.
What, 30 on the
Life
team?
after hockey is out there, so keep it going.
That's it. That's all we got. We'll be back with some interviews. You want to?
Yeah, we're going to talk life after hockey with some of our peeps. We've got a Patty Kaz winner. We've got some legacy Olympians that I've been chatting with. I know it's time to deliver, but I've had a lot of conversations.
Cool. That's good.
No, in all fairness, we've just been so busy, but we want to really just start to push out the interviews, talk to the people who are doing the most in hockey and outside hockey. Yeah, we'll be there soon.
We're trying to do this without just calling up our Northeastern friends.
I've warded off the Northeastern ask from our crew. That has been my sort of voodoo. We cannot do that. I just want to make this well-rounded and make sure we're representing all walks of hockey, women's hockey. So
we got to wait for Coach Carp.
We're going to wait. Yeah.
Well, thank you for joining us. Please like, subscribe, follow us on all the socials. We are at BTG Hockey Pod. BTGHockeyPod.com is the website. You can find us everywhere. Yeah, subscribe.
We're working to get out there, working on content, working after we're working. But yeah. So, and tell us if you want somebody on here.
Yeah. And if you want to sponsor us.
When I was having my conversations, they were like, have you thought about this person? Oh, you should have this person. And I was like, oh gosh, I got to get
for a sponsor or an interview.
Just people to bring on.
Oh,
that would be a great conversation or an interesting story or just something that they're doing now, or
for sure.
where they are in hockey at this point. So stay tuned.
Well, thank you for listening. And Jade Aginla, we'd love to have you on the podcast, but I hope you have a great day tomorrow.
You didn't show your picture of Jerome Aginla at the Hall of Fame either.
Oh, the picture of me and him. That's yeah.
All I've got to say is bye for now.
Yeah, fair enough. We'll just stop.
Okay.